أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الرحمن الرحيم. مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم. صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. Amen. With God's name, the merciful benefactor, the merciful redeemer, the praise belongs to God, the Lord of all systems of knowledge, the merciful benefactor, the merciful redeemer, the sole judge on the day of judgment. We worship you only and we turn to you begging your assistance. Guide us on the straight way, the way of those on whom you bestowed your blessings, not those who go astray, nor those who and earn your wrath for those who go astray. I mean, apologies.
Amen. Thank you so much for that, Imam Omar, and welcome everyone to Study Al-Islam. You see my face this morning. Assalamu alaikum. We are praying traveling mercies for Sister Fitrah Muhammad, who this morning is in Morocco, and inshallah she will come in and join us if we can get our internet back up and running. But today we are going to have a community participation in Study Al-Islam today, and we are going to talk about what we eat for sahur. So we have entered the month of Ramadan, alhamdulillah. We are almost a weekend. We're almost a week in, and we're getting up at early in the morning to make sure that we eat our sahur before we start our fast. And we're interested to know the types of things you eat. I'm sure we've had those days when we were having those really heavy meals, thinking that we needed to pack it on before we get to this long day of fasting. And maybe over time that has changed. I know it has changed for me. My children used to be in here, it looked like a kitchen, a commercial kitchen in here preparing their meals and making sure that they had everything that they needed to get through the day. And so we want to have that conversation with you all. Last week, we did have with us Dr. Nuruddin, who talked to us about the fast and some concessions that can be made when we're unable to fast. But this time, we want to talk about the foods that we eat, and we want to bring him and his wife back into the conversation as we talk about what we're eating. So I'm going to bring them on. Let's see. Let's get this going. Okay, Imam Nuruddin, and I'm also gonna see if I can find your wife in the chat. I had her on here. I might have lost her, but I'll get her back. Oh, I see her. Okay. So how are you? How are you today, Dr. Nuruddin?
I'm doing marvelous, just wonderful.
Wonderful, wonderful. So we're happy to have you back. I know when we were talking last week, Sister Fitrah said that she wanted to have you and your wife back to discuss what you all are eating for sahur, and we're also going to have that conversation as a community. But she wanted to make sure that you got back and we heard what you all are eating. So let us know what's happening at sahur time for you all.
Let me do this because I'd rather let Connie tell you what we do in the mornings. I just want to start with the end in mind. One of the things that Dr. Ramadan said last week was a good objective is if you've got a good routine going during Ramadan, you want to keep that routine going after Ramadan. So I think as a result of Connie sharing with you what it is that we do in the mornings throughout this entire month, then it'll give you some type of indication on the possibility of building better health.
Motion detector activated.
During Ramadan, please re-enter. So let me bring Connie in here and let her kind of share with you what we do. Connie, you there? Yeah, you there. I see you. No, you ain't, you're muted. You got to come off mute. Uh-oh. Now we lost her. Okay, look, she's going to come back in. So let me kind of share with you all what we do. And the whole objective in our minds relevant to Sahur meal is to have a clean burning fuel come into the body, because we're trying to enhance our health at the same time that we're doing this. That's not the major objective, all of you know, for Ramadan. It is to purify you and help you develop self-restraint. But this is a great side effect that comes as a result of it that we can take advantage of. So we start off with a glass of ozone water. We have a generator that allows us to produce ozone. And so we start off with a glass of ozone water. Then we have some hemp oil, some fish oil.
All right, and looks like we're frozen. So we'll have to get him back too. And in the meantime, I'm also going to see if I can get
some of you may be familiar with gooseberries. We have a gooseberry.
So you went out a little bit, Imam. You went out, Dr. Nuruddin. So we only heard some of what you said. Okay, so you can go back.
How far did I get?
I heard ozone water and maybe whatever you said after that, and then it cut off.
Yeah, well, we're talking about the oils.
Okay.
We're talking about oils like a hemp oil and a fish oil, and some super greens, a fresh egg, and organic protein powder. And we also have a gooseberry powder, which we also mix in it. Then we also mix fresh blueberries, fresh blackberries, fresh strawberries, and banana, and pineapple. And we mix that in there. And then I have a mushroom formula that's got about 14 mushrooms in it. And it's really in a liquid form that you can just put on your tongue. So I take about 15 drops of that. And then I also use a B vitamin and a folic acid. And that's every morning. That's what we do every morning, nothing cooked. We don't have anything cooked throughout the entire month. And so this is clean burning, and it's a nutritious meal. And I've been saying this in the Muslim Journal, in the column in the Muslim Journal for years, that this is what we do. And quite naturally, we use our digestive enzymes to make sure that the food digests properly to go along with what we're taking. But most of these things, they have enzymes in them already, and they will digest. There are some other things that I use also, which are in supplemental form, which are berries, more berries, all different types of berries in a supplemental form, and also vegetables in a supplemental form. So we have the objective of building better health throughout the entire month. And it works, and then from there, again, as Dr. Ramadan is saying, we're getting back into that process that we normally follow throughout the year, but gradually we're getting back into it, and we're trying to hold on to this as much as we possibly can as we move on into the year. Connie, did you get back in here?
Okay, so I do see her name, and she does have the ability to unmute herself. I don't think her camera's on, but let's see. Let's see what I can do here. Sister Connie, you should be able to unmute yourself. In the meantime, that list is so interesting. I do see a couple of questions in the chat. I'm going to get to those, but the whole concept of I see her, Dr. Nuruddin. She has to take herself off of mute, so she has the ability. But I was saying that the list of things that you all eat in the morning or take in the morning. It's so interesting. You know, I did a raw food diet before. And it was an interesting go, but you know, you do feel very energized from eating like that, right? Not eating anything cooked. And I did it for 30 days and I didn't know if I was gonna make it because the choices of foods to eat was a challenge for me. Like, you know, what am I gonna eat every day without eating the same thing every day? So
Yes, Sister Sahira asked the question. It is a smoothie.
okay.
It is a smoothie,
It's a smoothie
that we turn it into. I don't
okay.
do all of the supplements that are in capsules, but everything else that I pretty much talked about is in a smoothie form. And that's what we drink.
And someone asked, Hamina Muhammad, she asked, you mentioned an egg somewhere in there. Is it a raw egg that you're mixing in?
It's a raw egg. Again, more protein.
Okay.
Yeah, so those protein parts, you need the protein.
Yeah.
So the infrastructure, well, you start off with the oil. You know, you need the oil for the membrane of the cell, and you need protein for that infrastructure of the cell. So we've got several protein powders, a couple of different protein powders in there. And then we also dump those super greens in there, which is the blood builder. So that starts building the blood. You know, the body is going to start going through change. Many of you are going through it already. This is like we're heading into the 6th day, somewhere in there. And the body has already started going through changes in terms of detoxification. For many of you, you might have had a few headaches or something like that. Or, you know, because now the body has the ability to start pulling waste material out of the infrastructure of the tissue into the bloodstream. And so some of us may not feel, you know, too comfortable in those first few days, but then that'll start to pass you. But this is one reason why those oils, the oils and the protein are critical, you know, because again, I reiterate, the membrane of every cell is made up of oil or fats, and then the infrastructure is made up of protein. So those things you need to just really bring balance into the system, and then the vitamins and the minerals also help with the infrastructure. It is a raw egg. It is a raw, and it's the entire egg. It's not just the white or the yolk. It's the entire raw.
Yeah. So we're going out. His internet is not the strongest either, but he's given us all the science behind it, right? So the what gets incorporated and why. You froze up just a little bit, Dr. Noordine, but we did hear you say that it is a raw egg.
Right. We do put the oil into the smoothies. We dump them right into the smoothie. I guess if you have like an oil, like a flaxseed oil, I mean, you just dump the flaxseed oil right into it. But ours is a liquid, you know, these are liquid oils that we actually use. The fish oil is in a caplet. So we actually take that one. We actually have to take that one. See, someone said, suppose you had bad cholesterol. Well, in most cases, if you're not on statin drugs, you could very well be on statin drugs if you do have bad cholesterol. So you have to be mindful of it. And then if you do have a problem with cholesterol, then you should be mindful that you should be taking CoQ10 along with those statin drugs, because it's the same pathway. CoQ10 and cholesterol in that same pathway. And when they start giving you statin drugs to help you manage the cholesterol, it also starts shutting down the production of the CoQ10. And the CoQ10 is necessary for heart function. So you got to be mindful of not just taking statin drugs without taking CoQ10.
Great. Thank you for that, Dr. Noordine. And we see all sorts of questions popping up in the chat. I do want us to be mindful that we're interested in knowing what you all eat for sahur too. So If anyone wants to share, please just raise your hand and I'll get you on the screen, or we'll get your audio going. But I'm going to add Dr. Ramadan to the
Marcia, I'm going to have to get off because I got to go to a class. I want to
Absolutely.
hear. Yeah, but I'm going to wait till Dr. Ramadan. Dr. Ramadan has his hand up here. So
Yes.
I'm going to wait for him.
You can go ahead and unmute Dr. Ramadan.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
I certainly appreciate hearing what Imam Dr. Nurdin was offering, what he eats in the morning. I would like to share what we eat. And believe me, this was done in consultation with my wife, who really does it all. So yeah, I'd like to just give you what we have. For over a couple of days, for example, one day we may have, and Dr. Nuruddin may disagree with some of these things, but they're halal. Greek yogurt with honey, mixed nuts, and a whole grain toast we might have for one day for sahur. Another day, we may have oatmeal with sliced fruit and nuts. And another day, whole grain cereal with milk and a banana. And another day, we may have scrambled eggs with spinach and whole grain toast. And another day, we may have chia seed pudding with vanilla yogurt and berries and nuts. And another day, we may have whole grain pancakes with Greek yogurt and sliced peaches. And another day, a smoothie with spinach, banana. She likes almond milk and honey. And so that's kind of an example of the sorts of things that we may have for sahur.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, you guys got some healthy stuff going on over there. I think that's wonderful. For me, I transitioned to that over time, but I definitely used to have those mornings of like pancakes and eggs and bacon, all of that kind of stuff, because, psychologically you felt like you needed to pack it on to get through the day, particularly when we were fasting in the summer and had to get through the entire day, right? And I guess that's just part of the psychology of it all. But those are some great things, and some of the things you mentioned, I also incorporated this time around, and try to be conscious not to eat so much in the morning. So I'm doing eggs with spinach, a little bit of cheese, sometimes a lot of cheese. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. And then incorporating some fruit and some like a trail mix, the nuts with a little, I guess they're like little chocolate pieces in there, and what is in there? Peanuts, little chocolate piece, and raisins. I knew it was something else, and raisins. And so I feel like for most of the days I kind of repeated that. Then one day I had no, actually 2 days I had some a little bit of grits with some shrimp. So I was being fancy that day. But still the fruits and the trail mix, and I didn't have a bunch of it. So that's definitely been a change this time around for me. I didn't have a bunch of any of that stuff that I just mentioned. I just had like one little plate, and I didn't even get like a regular, I guess 9-inch size plate. I would use a small like saucer plate to fill the food, and that was all that I was going to be able to eat. And then some water, and something Dr. Nuruddin mentioned. He mentioned something about mushrooms. I recently purchased this mushroom coffee, and I'm not a coffee drinker at all, but I did purchase this, and I've been drinking that for probably the last two days. So let's see how it goes. But Dr. Nuruddin, I know you said you had to go. Did you want to say something before you cut out?
Not only this, you know, these meals that we're hearing that you're using here now. I mean, this is kind of where you want to stay after Ramadan, you know? You want to kind of hold on to this pattern of behavior that you know is designed to build better health for as long as you possibly can. And as a result of that, it becomes a habitual pattern of behavior, and the body starts to create this new culture, and it builds better health because it has nutrients to do it. It's not, the body knows what to do, what you're putting in it. And all it's asking you to do is just put the right things in it. You put the right things in it, then it'll build better health for you.
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that. Yeah, but I definitely feel better in these first few days of Ramadan. I was feeling before now, I was feeling like some inflammation. I was just like, I have to change my diet. And I knew it. I was like, I need to start fasting. I need to do some different things. I was feeling it. And now with just these first few days that we've been doing, pain that I was feeling, I don't feel. So it definitely is an indication of having to make a change for better health.
Well, thank you all
You know
very
what I
much.
had to do?
I gotta go.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll talk to you all again the next time. Peace be unto
Okay.
you. Walaikum Ramadan
Wow.
Mubarak.
Wa alaikum assalam
Walaikum
Ramadan
salam.
Mubarak.
I just wanted to say, following what you comments you had made, that even in this week that we've been on Ramadan, it was not my habit to eat too much in the morning in the past before Ramadan, and so it was like I was introducing another meal to my body, and surprisingly, you know, I didn't really cut down on my evening meal. So I saw that I had started gaining a pound or so. I said, what? So I had to really adjust the amount of the good meals, the sahur and the iftar meals that I was eating to reestablish a balance. And I think that's would be important for all of us to watch our numbers. And watching the numbers is for the diabetics to watch the glucose and watch the weight and watch the cholesterol and watch the blood pressure and watch all of these things, and to make these adjustments to reach a good equilibrium for ourselves. And this is another part of the self-discipline that we gain through this month, inshallah. So,
Inshallah. And so, Dr. Ramadan, I'm going to keep you on the screen because we do have people coming, wanting to ask questions, but I'm going to keep you on the screen just in case something medical comes up. And if you have to go, just let me know. But let's see. Yeah, Brother Yahya, if you can take yourself off of mute to ask if you had a question. Well, first we want you to share what you eat in the morning, and then if there's a question, you can go ahead and ask.
Okay, assalamu alaikum, Ramadan Mubarak.
Wa alaikum assalam, Ramadan Mubarak.
I just want to start first out by saying that Dr. Nuruddin is not only my friend, but he's my great friend. And I had alhamdulillah, and I had shukran, zakallah. And I had actually this is a few months back, your mother had sent me something, a picture of the different things that she was, not for Ramadan, but just the different, protocols that she has in the morning. So I sent her a picture of everything that I put into my routine, right?
Brother, you're breaking up a little bit.
Dr. Nuruddin. Okay, let me see. Let me get closer to the window. Maybe that might help. The reception in my apartment is a little.
And just so you know, Dr. Nuruddin, it's a little bit better, but Dr. Nuruddin had to step off. So I know you're speaking directly to him, but you can still share what you're sharing. But he had to.
Okay, no problem. I appreciate you. But anyway, I'm a big advocate of Gary Null also, Null. He's a world-renowned health nutritionist. He has the #1 listened to health radio program in America. And I start out by using, like Dr. Nuruddin said, I use the ozone water. I put in the coconut water. I put in the kefir, like Dr. Dr. Ramadan was mentioning about the yogurt, but this is like a liquid yogurt. It's called kefir. And I put, these are the 2 ounces of each one. And then I use the flaxseed oil, the coconut oil, hemp seed oil, about 3 or 4 5 different kinds of oils I put in. And I also use about 5 or 6 ounces of aloe vera juice, which has about 5 other things mixed with that, which I won't go into. And then I use Gary knows he has about 14, 15 different protein powders. You can look him up online. If you want to see what his powders are like. And this is what's claimed, that 1 scoop of his powder can equal up to almost 60 pounds of fruits or vegetables. So, so I put about 2 scoops of each one of those 14, 15 protein powders in. I use the walnuts, the almonds, the chia seeds, the saw palmetto seeds, and basically that's about it. I'm probably leaving out a few different things, but that's how I start. That's how I start out. I make that protein shake, and also I use what's called Encore, which is about 6 different nutrients in that. And then I use a prostate care. And then I blend. This is all going in the blender. I don't even take the capsules. I used to take it out of the capsule and put it in, but now I just throw everything in the blender because my blender blends up everything. And then I blend that up, and then I drink about 16, 18 ounces of that. And then I'll either have for maybe 3 or 4 days of the oatmeal, the rolled oats, hopefully. And then once I get a little bit, I want to change up a little bit, then I might go to the eggs and grits a little bit, not too much, like a boiled egg with the grits. And then I try to get in the morning, this is the logic, right? The Imam told us to follow the logic, right? So the first thing out should be the first thing in. So the first thing out usually is water, right? Which is, we're urinating. So the first thing in should be water, right? So I try to get before the suhoor ends, I try to get at least 32 ounces of water in, besides even a little bit more coconut water. And then basically, I'm pretty good to go. I also put those enzymes that Dr. Nuruddin was speaking about. I throw that right into my blender also. So that's basically my suhoor meal. Thank you very much for allowing me to share that with you.
Absolutely. And, thank you for sharing.
And if you ever wanted to get the idea of the pictures of the protein shake, just ask your mother to send you those pictures that I sent her of it. I took pictures of all of it.
Thank you so much for that.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. Appreciate you all. And I love this community. And this, I believe, like Wallace said, this community is divinely guided. This is a divine intervention. So we're on a mission. You know what I mean? So we have a heavy responsibility, not just to our own individual selves, the community self, but we also have a heavy individual to the rest of the world. So we're a very important community. And I pray, if a person is sick, it's not so much what they're going to do. It's not so much this. So we have to get ourselves into a healthier position and stuff like that, so we can do this work. Appreciate you. Assalamu alaikum. Have a blessed day, everyone. I love you. Ramadan Mubarak.
Ramadan Mubarak. Wa alaikum assalam. Okay, so we heard a lot of different ingredients. And brother, I'm not sure if you're on a device or couldn't get it all in the chat. And I know Dr. Nuruddin had put some of his items in there. So I know some of that stuff was repeated, but if we can get some of that in the chat, it would be great. I think when he was referencing having sent the information to someone, he probably was talking about Sister Fitrah. And so perhaps she'll share some information that she has available to her in next week's newsletter. So we'll see if we can get that. But I know for a lot of people, even for myself, we heard ozone water being mentioned a couple of times, and I even see a question in the chat asking, what is ozone water? It is also new to me. So that's some research perhaps that we have to do. And if anyone who is on with us today has some more information about that, we would love to hear a little bit more. But we want to hear from as many of you as we can as it relates to what you're eating for suhoor. So Sister Zakia, I'm going to bring you on and you can take yourself off of mute. Hold on. Try it now.
Is that Alhamdulillah? Assalamu alaikum. I wish I could add to the eating. I need help. So many years of fasting, I don't have the desire to eat. I get up in the morning, I'll have my coffee. I'm a happy person. At night, I try to have something, and I need help. So if anyone can just say what it is that I can just do, but I need help. Too many years of fasting, and I just fast now. I fast. So I need help. Sorry.
Anything? That's okay.
Right.
Anything you want to add to that, Dr. Ramadan?
Yes, I understand what you're saying, sister. Indeed, like I had that problem. I said with morning meal, but it's really not. It's not just the physical aspect. It's the discipline of Ramadan, and it is our tradition to the sahur meal. So even if it's not much that you want to eat, but the practice of eating something to comply with what we do with Ramadan, that's important. And how much you eat, it would be advised to be balanced for your sahur and for iftar, but the quantity is up to you. You know what you can manage with, what your body requirements are, and any medical problems and issues. But the fact that you do this as part of the Ramadan program that Almighty God Allah gives us is important. So I would say if you keep that in mind, it might help you.
Thank you for that. And so I have Dr. Hajira. Let me get you off of mute. You should be able to take yourself off of mute.
Yes, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ramadan Mubarak.
Ramadan Mubarak.
You are making me hungry. Oh my goodness gracious. Listen, listen, this month is a very serious detox moment. You know, I tell even my friends that are not Muslim, I said, you know, Allah will bless all of us to fast willingly or unwillingly. It's going to happen. Because if you don't obey Allah, it'll happen anyway. You'll be down. So you don't have to just stick to normal breakfast food if you want to think about it that way. You know, I'll have a salad in the morning if I want to with tomatoes and avocados and their oranges, lemon juice, and then do a little smoothie, I'll have watermelon, pineapple, pears. You don't need much. And then another thought that you may think about is that there's a difference between eating breakfast in suhoor and iftar. Iftar and suhoor are rituals. That's not your meal. Your right. Suhoor and iftar should just be a piece of fruit and your water. It's not a meal because it's a ritual. So get up, eat your meal, read your Quran, have enough time in between that, and then do your iftar or your suhoor. Your suhoor should be simple, and eat as many water-bearing foods as possible, because that's what's really going to, because you're trying to move toxicity and waste out of your body, out of your whole body, and so that's a way. In the evening time, if you want to, just get a big, canister or anything you hold water in. Put your fruits in there. Put your lemons. Put your strawberries. Put any type of fruit you want in there, and just let it set. And then you'll have fruit water. Try to stay away from juices, anything processed, nothing cooked. You don't want cooked food. You want food that is just as natural as it can be to you, your powdered drinks, your herbs. This is just a month of self-restraint. It's not about being full. You don't have to feel full. The sister was saying that you don't have to feel full. That's not the point of eating during the month of Ramadan. This is the month of self-restraint. And to think about even the food that we have, think about the people in Gaza had the food you had on your plate, how happy they would be. So, think of those that don't have and desire less. desire less, inshallah. So thank you
Inshallah.
so much.
Absolutely. No, that was beautiful. That was beautiful, a beautiful reminder. And you brought up some of what I was saying that I was more conscious of this time around, like not desiring to eat so much that I'm full, because somewhere in my mind I feel like that's gonna get me all the way to Maghrib, right? And so just even us just hearing what each other is eating, and those because so far there's so many healthy options that have been presented, with the exception of my eggs with the my grits with the cheese, right? But it's just motivating too to hear it from each other, right? Because we're hearing things that perhaps we could start to incorporate for ourselves, right? So we heard ozone water, and I didn't know anything about what ozone water is, so I found a link online and I just put it in the chat just so I can help us to start our research. So I'll be looking into that myself. Let's see. I have Sister Wahid. I'm gonna get you on and take yourself off of mute. Let us know what you're eating for sahur.
Ramadan Mubarak. Assalamu alaikum. I was just so happy to hear that some of the things that I've been doing was really beneficial, more beneficial than I realized. So I do the mostly fruit and some all the oils that he was talking about really make me understand better that I need to do more of those. So usually I just would have me a banana and some fruit, and then I would have my oils. I was only doing the fish oil, the black seed oil, and one other oil I was doing. But I wanted to know, what about the sea moss gel? Does anyone take that? That seems to so far help me to feel more energized. And I take that in the morning also. But I haven't tried the eggs. I used to boil an egg, but I haven't done that for this Ramadan. But yes, so I was glad to hear that at least I was doing some of the things right. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Dr. Ramadan, you have anything on that sea moss gel?
I take sea moss at night, but I can't, I don't have that much knowledge that I should share on that. So.
Me either.
Yeah, I take it, and along with other nutritionals, so it's in the mix. I trust it's doing good. Some good in there.
Right.
I can't tell you that it was a cause of me feeling better or anything. I couldn't say that.
Got it. And if we have a nutritionist on the line, we would love to hear from you. In the meantime, I'm going to bring Sister Latifa. You should be able to take yourself over mute at this moment and share with us what you are eating for sahur, and if you had any questions.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you so much for sharing. I want to look into that ozone water too. I drink the bottled water, and I don't have the same thing every day, but most of the time it's a smoothie. So I use a protein mix. I add banana, wheatgrass, the sea moss gel, this fresh spinach, sometimes a banana. I switch up with the different fruits. I want blueberries. Oh, definitely blueberries. I love it. And I eat like this all the time. It's just not during Ramadan. I'm a vegan, so I watch what I eat, and then I'll have my supplements of them, A, C, D, and I have this brain supplement that I take. And I know it does have B12 and other things because I go to a nutritionist and they help me. And then when I do hot stuff, I may do teff. My son-in-law cooks and he is so great at it. So he'll fix the teff and I'll just add stuff to it, or oatmeal, but definitely drink a lot of water. And when I feel like drinking something hot, I'll have a peppermint tea. And it's another one that I have, and I just can't think of it. Thank you for helping me share. And thank you so much, Dr. Ramadan, for sharing what you do. And I don't know what CMOS is supposed to do or what these things are supposed to do. All I know is that it energizes me, and I'm a senior. It energizes me and it keeps me going, and I don't eat a lot generally, and definitely during Ramadan, I don't in the morning. Thank you for allowing me to share. May Allah continue to bless all of you.
I mean,
Thank you.
and so, yeah, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. You know, one of the things that I'm curious to know as we continue to have this conversation is, you know, how is everyone feeling during the day? And Sister Latifah was just saying that she feels energized. I can also say that I feel energized from what I'm having in the morning. Usually when I'm at work, and I guess this is also attributed to what I usually eat at lunchtime, right? But like that 2-3 o'clock hour is nap time. And it's probably because of what I'm eating, right? I'm seeing that now in Ramadan, that those foods that I normally eat, the way that I normally eat, the amount that I normally eat, it has impacts on my body that I'm not experiencing right now, right? I'm having that sahur in the morning. It's not a lot. Even if it's not as healthy as some of the options we're hearing, it's also not a lot of food. And that is having an impact on me too. And I'm getting through the day just fine. And I don't feel the need to have that nap at 3 o'clock. I don't take it anyway because I'm still at work, but I usually feel very sluggish around 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon at work. Dr. Hajira, we're going to bring you back on because you're next in my queue. So I believe you have something else you want to share with us. You should be able to take yourself off of mute.
Alhamdulillah, assalamu alaikum. And maybe someone already spoke of this. We cannot leave out the dates. The dates will help you with your sluggishness. Oh my goodness gracious. Listen, they're going to be healthy for your bowel movements. They're going to provide your antioxidants. They're going to boost your brain, your heart, inhibit microbial growth, help manage diabetes. It reduces the inflammation. And so, but then it has so many other minerals in there. There's manganese, there's copper, there's iron, there's vitamin B6. So there's so many vitamins just in dates. And that sluggishness you feel in the afternoon, you won't have that because it's going to give you energy all day. So that's sahur I was telling you about in the morning time. Get you 2 or 3 dates, get your water, and that's it. You're done with the sahur and you're energized. So I just wanted to bring that dates in, and maybe Dr. Ramadan, you have something else to say about the dates, but that's point on right there for your energy.
No, I think you did very well. I appreciate you reminding us of that we didn't mention that, but the dates are very important. In fact, I have to get some more. We all just went out of them. It just ran out.
Yeah. One thing that she mentioned too, Dr. Ramadan, is the inflammation. And I talked about that very early on. Can you talk to us just a little bit before I bring the next person in, just about like inflammation and the impact that it has on the body, both, I guess, the benefit and the long-term, I guess, counter benefit as well.
Inflammation is a real problem, and it's a problem that in medicine we are just really sort of recent years appreciating the impact it is having on various organs and the different foods and the different medications that promote inflammation and that are anti-inflammatory. And, chronic inflammation is just a general comment on it is a problem that really occupies our immune system. And this, even though itself doesn't make us vulnerable, it makes us vulnerable to so many things by continually occupying our immune system and reducing its capacity. So we find that those things that we can do and foods that we can take that are anti-inflammatory will promote strengthening the immune system and improve our health. So, inflammation is a lot more than the redness that you see on your skin. It's inflammation that can occur in the organ level, in the vascular level. And so inflammation is, and in the joints with the arthritis and a lot of autoimmune illnesses are due to chronic inflammation. So inflammation is not a good thing. It's a good thing that you have an immune system that allows design that can attack inflammation and put an end to it when it can. So just general comment, but there's so many specifics that deal with inflammation that we could go into.
Yeah, but I appreciate you sharing that. Yeah, I appreciate you sharing that with us, because I've just recently become more conscious of that. And like I said, with the change, just even in this week, I feel a difference. Sister Naja, you can go ahead and take yourself off of mute. Let us know what you are having for sahur.
Okay, assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam.
So, alhamdulillah, everything that was mentioned, I do. Everything. In a smoothie every day. I've been doing that for a very long time, from the chia seeds, the flax seeds, the greens, the turmeric, everything. Now I'm making the water. I'm putting the fruit in the water so I can make the water that the sister talked about. But what I wanted to say about the dates, you can make date cream. All you do is take your dates, soak them overnight. They'll get real soft. Take the pit out, the same water that you're soaking the dates in, put all that into a blender, and it becomes a date cream, sweet. And you can use that in your tea, in your coffee. You use it as a sugar. So you can make the date cream, which is really good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for that. Okay, so we got ozone water, we got date cream, we got smoothies, we got fruit, we got nuts, we got all sorts of supplements. We got chia seed, flax seed. We have all of these things that have been shared with us so far. The super greens, the protein powders. So we have some options out here. Our sisters and brothers are currently using and are seeing benefits from. Not just, and we've been making the point, right? Not just for the month of Ramadan, but also to make a long-lasting practice. That was one of the things that Dr. Nordine shared before he left, is to try to hold on to some of these things. If we're not doing it outside of Ramadan, try to hold on to it for as long as we can for the health benefits of it. I see Dr. Hajira. I'm going to let you take yourself off mute. Go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum. I'll try to let this be the last time I come in.
Doesn't matter, sis. You can say as many things as possible.
Well, Dr. Ramadan, I just want to just alhamdulillah on the inflammation. As a naturopathic doctor myself, we state that all disease begins with inflammation. That's where all disease begins, because the heart pumps the blood, but what pumps the lymphatic system? The only way that lymph is going to move is through you moving. If you don't exercise, if you don't move the body, if you become sedentary, that lymph system is going to be inflamed and impacted. So those lymph nodes, you have 600 to 800 lymph nodes in your body. That's your lymphatic system, which is connected to your immune system. And so this is why even during COVID, a lot of people, when that virus got into that lymph system, it was almost, they didn't know what to do with that lymph system, because they really don't know haven't figured out how to move that lymph. And that causes a lot of problems. So, still do some light, very light exercising, for those that don't walk, try to get a little walking in, not much, light. If you have a small trampoline, bounce your feet on that to get that lymph moving, because you're still trying to move toxicity out of the body. That's what you're trying to do. So that inflammation is real. It's painful. It can be inflamed, it could be red, it can, and, it can really cause some problems. So even with that lemon water, that helps strip, a lot of those. See, the foods that we don't eat anymore, we don't eat foods that we have 6 different taste buds, but we don't like all the taste. We like sugar, we like the sweet and the hot. We have forgotten about the in-between tastes. We say, well, I don't like that. I don't want to eat that. Yeah, everything the law made is good for you. So you should taste it. The sour. You don't like the sour, but the sour is good for you. That lemon is alkaline, even though it tastes the way it tastes, but it's an alkaline food. So just, be careful and watch yourself with not moving during this month and just being sedentary. So hopefully that'll help with that inflammation in the lymphatic system, inshallah.
Inshallah, absolutely. Thank you for that. I know for me, right, that movement piece, I work in an office, right? I'm sitting in a chair all day, and sometimes I'm joking with my assistant behind me. I'm saying, they need to give us free. We need to we need to get out of here. I'm so tired of sitting in this chair all day. And what I would do sometimes is both of us, we would walk around the office, like walk around the floor. But now one of our health centers has closed. And so they brought some of the staff into our building. So we can't walk around because now that area is closed off. And I'm like, man, we're like stuck to these chairs and I just want to go. And so that now I'm more sedentary than I used to be. And, so now you have to do things to counteract that. So thank you for that reminder. And, and it's good. Go ahead, Dr. Ramadan.
On that, they say now that being sedentary is just the new smoking. So that being sedentary is like the bad health benefits of smoking. And the other thing that we should keep in mind is that movement is medicine. So just as we want to keep and eat a good diet, a natural diet, movement is so important. And it just reminds me that brother who was giving that very detailed description of the sorts of things that he eats. I was just wanting to ask him, and what sort of exercise do you do too, brother? That's so healthy, that diet that I was wondering what sort of exercise he did also. And we want to emphasize that it's very important to move the body. It's like if what we don't use, we lose. And that works in the body. If you don't use it, you lose it. The mind, the body, the parts of it, if we don't move our joints, if we don't, as the doctor, a naturopathic doctor was saying, if we don't circulate our lymphatic system, these things deteriorate. So the funny thing is they get more healthy the more you use them. It's not like you use them up. You use them, they get stronger. And those things that we take that advantage of, Allah blesses it. He puts in these organs, he puts reserve in them. And the reserve is a mercy to us. If we don't use them, it's a long time before they deteriorate. And giving us a chance to come around back to ourselves. And if we use them, we get stronger, and we get stronger because they get stronger. So the movement is also an important part.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes.
Say that last part again.
It's not necessarily going to the gym. It's doing good housework or walking outside or taking a walk and all of those things. That's a sort of movement too. And we have, the deep breathing and the Tai Chi and other things that we've seen on Study Al-Islam. And so keep those in mind, just as we do good nutrition.
Absolutely, absolutely. And sister, one of our sisters, I can't remember her name, but I'm gonna get it before we get off of here. But last week she shared with us that she does the chair yoga. Sister Samaya, she does the chair yoga in the mornings. And also the sister out of DC, I'll grab her name before we get off to inshallah, but it may be in the newsletter. I'm going to double check that. But she also does a pre-sahur workout that we can go ahead and check out. But I have a couple of hands before we end off today. Sister Rahima, you should be able to take yourself off of mute now. Let us know what you eat for sahur.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Ramadan Mubarak. Everybody said basically everything, but one thing that I find that I really find pleasure in is vegetables in the morning. And it's not, and because I am diabetic, fruit, I really have learned how to push back off of the fruit, because even when I did a smoothie the other day, I see my sugar went up higher than I wanted it to go. So I said, no, I'm not doing it anymore. And so I'm dealing with the vegetables. I had some kale, and it's just like the doc said, don't necessarily do the cooked food, but my husband loved, and I think we just have to grow out of loving the cooked food and for sahur, because there's thousands and thousands of us that have pancakes and all that stuff. I don't do it, but he loves it. And so we just have to teach each other out of it and do a lighter sahur, as she was mentioning. But talking about exercise, I really don't feel good if I don't go and work out lightly. Like right now, all I'm doing is swimming or just exercising in the pool. The aquatics really make me feel wonderful. So this is my 50th year fasting. And at 3 o'clock, I feel so good. And still, even at Isha, I'm starting to drop. My energy starts to drop right there before Tawari prayers. So all day long, and I don't go back to sleep after reading the Quran in the morning. I just have all this energy past the age of 65. So I'm like, this is beautiful. So I feel better when I'm fasting than when I'm not fasting. So my doctor actually said, you need to fast the rest of your life because your sugar levels are wonderful. Everything is going right for you when you're fasting. And so that's why it's so important after we finish Ramadan that we find a consistency in feeling good. So thank you for allowing me to share, and may Allah Ta'ala bless everyone with a beautiful day and a beautiful Ramadan. Ramadan Mubarak.
Ramadan Mubarak. Thank you so much for that, Sister Rahima. I do take a little nap before I have to get ready for work, even if it's a little quick 30 minutes. But thank you so much for sharing that. Sister Najma, go ahead and take yourself off of mute and let us know what you eat for sahur.
Yes, indeed. Assalamu alaikum and Ramadan Mubarak to everyone.
Ramadan Mubarak.
Normally what I do, first of all, I have an issue when I go into Ramadan, I have a tendency to gain a few pounds and inches because I've never stopped the habit of eating one meal a day since I've been in the Nation of Islam since 71. But mostly what we do, whatever's left over from the dinner meal, we have that for sahur. And if there's nothing left over, there's tendency to eat maybe mostly fruit. My family loves turkey strips and eggs, so we'll do that. And of course, I have a tendency to develop isolates, which means I can get kidney stones. So I make sure I hit the proper amount of fluids, including apple cider vinegar water and lemon water. I make sure I get those. And also, I'm a fitness trainer. I've been training fitness for over 40 years in that nutritional fitness industry. So I make sure I keep myself healthy, but I still continue to work out. I went up and down the stairs as usual. I do my push-ups and planks and so on and so forth. So, but that even still, going from one meal a day to twice a day, I still have a tendency to gain a few inches or pounds here and there. I want to warn everybody, there's an ingredient that's very popular in most of our foods, almost everything, but it's also included in insecticides. It is called maltodextrin. It's worse on the body than sugar. So be mindful of getting that into your different foods. It's in everything. I mean, cereals, potatoes, vegetables, they put it everywhere. But it's also very damaging to your kidneys, to your liver. So pay attention to that. And most of these drinks, most of these powders and things, you may find an additional ingredient called maltodextrin. And look it up, it's very damaging. So alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen, I take my veggies, everything that you all have done, I do that, but I'm challenging because I do eat normally 1 meal a day. And it's a blessed Ramadan. I love it. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. And so I'm gonna so there were a couple of things in the chat, and then I'm gonna take one last share. Actually, let me take the share. Sister Aaliyah, you can go ahead and take yourself off of mute.
Okay, I think you wanted to know what people eat for suhoor.
Yeah.
One of the things I do is I do like a cashew yogurt and put like granola and nuts and things in that. So I'll do that and like a smoothie. So the smoothie could be a green smoothie, a beet smoothie, or a fruit smoothie with a lot of the powders and things that people have mentioned. So that's kind of my approach. And then the supplements that take. But I wanted to know a quick question about how to build your blood. So, there are many cases where you can have like low iron or things like that. And also with some of the things you're not eating as much, if Dr. Ramadan had any suggestions for that.
What do you mean build your blood?
Let me get her back. You can take yourself back off of you, Cecilia.
Okay, so lower iron levels, things like that.
Okay, from the medical perspective, I would get the iron levels checked, ferritin levels, and total iron binding capacity, and we would administer iron tablets, iron to treat iron deficiency anemia, and there's so many blood treatments. If you're treating, you should have a condition that you're treating. Not just to strengthen blood. Maybe maybe the herbalists or naturopathic physicians may have something along those lines, but medically we have to pinpoint. We have to have a diagnosis and pinpoint and aim the treatment at treating that specifically.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that, Dr. Ramadan. And so, we appreciate everyone who has shared what they have for Sahur. There's some other ones in the chat I just wanted to mention. I saw different list of fruit. Let's see if I can get to it. I was going to ask you the question about the blood, but the sister came on and asked that. Let's see. Let's get to it really quick. There's so much, and there's so much that's being shared in the chat in reference to some of the things that were mentioned, some of the doctors, some of the supplements, the information is in the chat. So please make sure you go to the chat and look at that information. But some other things that have been mentioned: sea moss, chlorophyll, cayenne pepper, artichoke drops, squeezed lemon, black seed oil, apple cider vinegar, olive leaf extract, and that's it sounds like it may be like in a tea type of format because it says all in hot water. So we have that mixture. Someone was asking about apple cider vinegar and if that was, I think the question was about whether or not it was beneficial. There was a question about ozone water that was similar to alkaline water. I put the link in the chat. We're going to start our research on that because I am not familiar with what ozone water is. Today is my first day hearing what that is. But we've all just been sharing all the different things. Honey, right? Some raw honey that's been mentioned, and then it's also in the chat. Some good quality raw honey to incorporate into the things that we're eating. And so, and then someone asked, or someone mentioned that around 3 or 4, they're exhausted. What can they do to sort of maintain that energy? And I think we kind of just already talked about, being mindful of the things that you take in early in the day that to produce energy to kind of hold on to that longer. maybe even some movement in there. We got dates, we got watermelon, tangerine, banana, greens, purple grapes, cherries. There was a question about the apple cider vinegar and water being good to reduce cholesterol. Is it good for reducing cholesterol? And if so, how much? I don't know if you can speak to that, Dr. Ramadan. Okay.
No, I couldn't.
Okay. And I think we probably have most of everything in there. Someone mentioned gratitude is medicine, right? So it's that mental health as well. Dr. Ramadan mentioned that movement was medicine too. And so those are the things to keep in mind, that it's all of these things that keep us whole and keep us well. We talked about the blood already. And I think we got it going. So I want to thank you, Dr. Ramadan, for sticking in there with me. You didn't plan to be on the screen with me today, but you jumped on it, so I held you back just because I didn't know if anything medical would come up, and I definitely was not going to be able to answer those. But we appreciate everyone for sharing today and telling us what you all eat for Sahur. Again, we're praying traveling mercies for Sister Fitrah, who is in Morocco and attending an interfaith conference representing our community well. So, and we appreciate her for all the work that she does. I just want to let everyone know that we want you to come back to study Al-Islam at 1:00 if you are available. We will be streaming the Ramadan sessions that Imam Yahya Abdullah is presenting during the month of Ramadan. It starts today at 1:00. Come back, use the same link that you used to come on today. He will be doing Ramadan sessions every Sunday for the remainder of the month of Ramadan from 1 until 2:30, and you can catch it here on Study Al-Islam. So we want to see you back with us at that time. And with that said, I'm going to turn it over to Imam Omar to close us out.
ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. Lord, let not our hearts deviate, now that you have guided us, but grant us mercy from thee. For you are the granter of bounties unmeasured. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so much. Everyone have a good rest of your day. And we want to see you back here at 1:00 if you're available. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.